Woo-hoo-hoo. How are you? Wow. Isn't it amazing? Was it the astrology? Or was it my intuition? Or I don't know. What do you think? I think I pretty much nailed it on the head as to what was going on, what would be going on with the 1776 restoration movement. And it's not even September. What do you think September's gonna bring? Oop. Hold on, let me turn down my sound. I have it so that I can see comments. There we go. So now we can look at it and you can tell me what you think in your comments. Did you watch what I talked about? What's going to be coming up in September? Or did you listen to what I said prior to on any of the other videos? I was not really surprised, but I'm also wondering if someone is giving Santa some heads up on what I had talked about in my readings. As in, it's not going to be good if Santa stays in charge. It's not going to be good for 1776 if Santa stays in charge. And that's bottom line. Wherever you go, there you are. Santa in the chart is always going to affect 1776, no matter. So it was interesting to see that they have implemented another board, because I thought that when they started it at the Red Man's Lodge, that he introduced his board at that time. Or is it because there were women on the board when he first announced it? And is that where he thinks that the problem lies? That there were women on the first board? Or why are there only men on the board now? Somebody want to answer that question for me? I find it quite interesting how there's no women. Only white male patriarch. We're going to do it this way. And, yeah, I don't know. Should we do another chart for the new LLC? And when should we start that chart? Being that we're coming up pretty much the same planetary as we got going on right now, because it's only a couple of days away from September's, and we already see what's going on. The big time players are already there in 76s. You think if we change it, that it will change? Good possibility. Good possibility it'll change the whole dynamics. But as long as you keep Santa in the position of being in charge, well, you better keep in the security in position to hold him back too. Because, wow, yeah, that was not a well-controlled or a man in control. And, yeah, I can have pity on him. What can I say? You know, you have to, well, you don't have to pity somebody, but, you know, I mean, a friend once said sympathy was in between. What was that? I guess I listened way too many times. Oh yeah, shit encephalitis. So, at least that's what she said. I don't know, is it? Is sympathy in between there? Doesn't sound right, but that was her. That was her rendition of sympathy. So, September is going to bring a lot of confusion for 1776. You better believe it, Rumrose. Big time. There's been a lot of confusion that's been going on in 1776 ever since it was separated from the People's Convoy. There's a whole lot of questions that are going on. Not just in the 1776, but also in the People's Convoy and the Freedom Convoy, and looking in behind it, and it's there's so many people who are awake, and until there's a greater tragedy, the people aren't going to come together. So it's best to find birds of a feather and flock together. And, you know, protect your own. And a lot of this could have been, what do you say, stopped? If Santa would have answered questions when the squirrels had come to DC with a list of questions. But Santa didn't allow those questions to be answered. He allowed Crystal to stop the questioning of the questions, and also others who were in there to stop it. And you would think that they would want the truth to come out. I mean, I, for one, when I was a driver at the convoy and the movement, I wanted to know. I wanted to know what the truth was. I was kept in the dark. You know, it's like, wait a minute, isn't this kind of important? I know when I was in Hagerstown at the People's Convoy, they threw out someone who was accused of, and I don't even think he was convicted. And they threw him out in Hagerstown. And then to hear not one, but two who were on paper were allowed because Santa said that they were allowed. Well, that was really disappointing. If you're going to stand for truth, if you're going to stand up as a man of honor, then speak the truth. Don't tell people to shut down their live streams because you want to hide a convicted pedophile in the camp, and that if there were live streams, then people would catch them in the live streams, which they did. And the people who saw those live streams were really upset at some of us who went to find out that information, and we were told no, they were not in camp. So for those of you who agreed with the lies, shame on you. Seriously. I was called a traitor because I'm exposing those lies and putting the truth out there. That there were convicted pedophiles in the camp. Whether you agree or disagree and think they are good, and maybe they didn't do, or maybe they are reformed, the fact still lies that it's in a court of law. It's on a piece of paper, a legal document stating that these people should not have been in camp. These people, if they were, should have been registered to be in camp. But we later found out that's only if they were there for 3 days. So when we were looking for and couldn't find, usually on the 3rd day, they were at a different place so they could come back and not have to register because they were not at one place for 3 days. And that's sad. That's really sad. It's sad to think that your people should lie. Your members should lie to protect it. That's wrong. That's wrong. Yeah, butterfly, it is a wow to expect someone in a religious, self-appointed religious mission to lie. You know? I think it's wrong. How about you? What I have up on here is the chart for September's 1776. And it's going to be very, very interesting, to say the least. Now, there again, if we're looking at, Thomas is wanting in. Hang on, let me go get Thomas. Hello, Thomas. What up? Huh? You coming in? Yeah. Well, come on. Okay, Thomas is in. Okay, very wrong, but I'm not surprised. Believe it when people show you who they are. What do you mean, very wrong? Very wrong in what? Are you talking about? No, I understand why Santa takes the side of the criminal over the victim. Santa is indeed the criminal and is what they are. I can understand how the criminal justice system works. I know how the criminal justice system works, but that does not make a man, one man, who is not an attorney, who is not a judge, be able to come in and say, oh, well, I'm the leader. I'm going above a court document and saying that these people are allowed to come in. I welcome these people to come in. Without that piece of paper, that's going against the law. And some people might not mind going against the law, but I don't want to go to jail. The actions of people in 1776 continue to show us who they are. Very correct. Butterflies are free. What is done in the dark will come to light. That is. And I don't dish dirt like I really could have. No worry. You took me by surprise, butterflies, because I'm like, what? And I didn't know when you had popped on and all that kind of good stuff. And I mean, there's one thing about, and I can say I'm guilty like Santa of always giving people the benefit of the doubt, until they prove me wrong. But wait a minute, I'm not in charge of other people. I'm in charge of myself and my animals. And it's I mean, I cringe when people holler at their dogs or their kids. And with being put in that position, and it's like, wait a minute, people who are looking are going to think that I'm the one who was lying to them, when they would see, the people that they're trying to say are in camp. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm not lying. I don't want to be known as a liar. I want to put this information out there. But if I put this information out there, the people aren't going to like me, because they're trying to say, oh no, hide it. And it was a very, well, I can't really say tough. Sorry about that. That was Thomas jumping down off of the table. That was not a good position for him to put me in, because I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell the truth, and that was when the whole trip, it was like that. I was wondering if that was the frickin' Billy that held the gun. Are you telling me that it really was Billy who was pointing that gun last evening, threatening to shoot someone's face? That is scary. That is very scary. I know that there are people who had clipped the video of mine when I was talking with Tony and had, put it in there and pushed it back and, made it look like we were talking about D, and that, Tony was accusing D of the meth. And I had said about, that I had talked to the police. Well, see, I had a discussion that night before when there were supposed pedophiles in camp, and anyway, was that the night? I'm pretty sure that was the night. Anyhow, the way that it had all come down, now I'm trying to think, is that the night, or I'd have to go back and confirm, because a lot of it plays in because it was drama after drama after drama. And Billy had gone off on a young girl that was there, because I had told her, quick, take the dog over, because the dog was gonna poop. And then Billy threatened and lifted his hand to, as if to strike the girl. And Mother got really mad, and that's when she went after him with a baseball bat, and police were called, and I had a conversation with him, and he wasn't all the way, he was not in his right mind. Not that I have spoken with him a whole lot, because I was always, stay away from. But then when he got to be security, I was like, what? You've got to be kidding me. Seriously? You got that, butterflies. I do like to get to the bottom. The condemnation prior to investigation is ignorance. So I like to walk my talk, and I like to talk truth. So a lot of things I'll keep quiet on until I really know what's up. And like I said, I have not dished the dirt like I could. Period. So anyhow, when the police came that evening, the night before, the infamous video of Tony and I in the backfield talking, and I told the police that this is my experience with Billy, and that he was under the influence of something, and that, whether he was under the influence of alcohol and drugs that evening, that I don't know, because all I know is what I could smell and what I could see, but seeing did not allow me to see him ingest or do anything other than the smell and the actions. The actions in the movement of, and I'm surprised that they allowed him back in. I mean, this is, I don't know, 3 times. How many red flags do you need, and what is it? They wanted somebody back in of such who would go up against the aunt, and this, well, we'll just put the critters. That they wanted a psychopath that would go up against, and then that way they would have their their hangman. So Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's it. And see, Don D, I don't know. So I can't, I can only make an assumption on that. And, you're invisible? No, I see. Oh, okay. I was going to say nobody should be invisible. Nobody should be blocked. Nobody should be censored. Um, it's everybody should be up and up. I do know that court affidavit, are you talking about where it's blacked out? I'm still open on that. Okay. All right. Let me tell you my opinion. There is more in behind the scenes that will be coming out. And I don't believe that Trump is a stupid man. So, there is more. There is other evidence that will come out. So, why am I so protective over a criminal? Well, I can say that all the facts are not in. The same as when we're talking about a pedophile in camp, you can believe, and people will tell you that they had to show me information, straight up, and I wasn't believing everything that people would just say. So, in understanding astrology is another thing, because with Capricorn, here, I'll put it down in here, with Capricorn, and this is looking at the 1776 chart for September, but right here, Capricorn, Pluto's in Capricorn. So there's a lot of changes that are going on in our government. A lot of things in our government structures that will be changed. Now, we also have Neptune. Neptune is usually illusions and delusions. And it's in Pisces, so Pisces is really a flip-flop. What's going on? Black or white, what's right. And right now, it's in retrograde, which is kind of a good thing. Because in retrograde, the truth is going to be revealed. So there are things that are going to be revealed. People are saying, factual evidence, yeah, I mean, to tell you the truth, Don, I would say let's go and do an astrological chart and really see what's going on in behind of having things, because I know that there's been a lot of trumped up charges, and I don't know how many a times accused of, and I'm in behind the media. I'm one to give the First Amendment. That's my biggie, is the First Amendment. And when we're having media cover up for who, then you're not getting all your information if you're only listening to the major mass media. Go check out amazingpolly.net. AMAZING Polly, POLLY.net. She is fantastic. And go and check out what she's got on her website. And then come back to me. Nothing to do with it for a minute, there's no debate. Well, like I said, go and check out. But what I will say is, I bet you that there's going to be some stuff in those documents that they're going to be mighty upset when it's finally revealed what's in those documents that he has. And I guess that was one way to get him out. So, yeah, what can I say? We'll have to do a astrology chart on that one too, and check it out. But for those of you who have never heard of Amazing Polly, you owe it to yourself to check out her work. She's an independent journalist up in Canada, and I drove, whatever you want to call it, across the country with her website on the side of my vehicle because I believe so highly in the work that she does. What's up, Thomas? You done now? Thomas just came in to see what was up, get some food. Now he's heading back out again. I'm staying with friends in the meantime and getting ready to go back to North Carolina because I am going to be filing another lawsuit. At least I'm going to be pulling the bonds and hopefully finding an attorney to be writing a class action lawsuit to guarantee we the people a First Amendment platform. Because as long as we have people who are controlling mass media, we will never get all of the information that is out there. We will only get the information that they want us to know. We're not going to hear about Hillary's record or the Biden evidence. I mean, yeah, we might hear about the Biden evidence, but will we hear about Hillary's before or after she is no longer on Earth? I mean, yeah, the information will come out, but will she still be alive? You know, which kind of makes me wonder about Biden. And, well, you know, he's obviously not in mental capacity to take a stand if he were charged, let alone run the country. So, yeah, what can I say? But I guess that y'all came over here to talk about the 1776 and what's coming up in September. And I know that I've talked, no idea what you're talking about, Biden charged for. Oh, well, Dawn, just hang in there and it'll come out. Like I said, if you're only listening to mainstream media, you are listening to a biased reporting of by corporations who are controlled by 6 individuals, something on the order of. If you don't know who is, or the World Economic Forum, or Klaus Schwab, or a number of elitists who wish to rule the world. You watch too much Rumble conspiracy theories. I watch and read everything on both sides. Sounds like you were only listening to one side to me. No, no, you might think that, but I was involved in media. I produced public access media at a public access station in Asheville, North Carolina. Thomas, do you went out that bad? Oh, hang on, I'll be back. I have to leave Thomas out. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so I produced media, and I also co-produced media. And my TV show, I would have alternative healing practices, astrology, um, you name it, and if you don't find it on mainstream, that's what I had on my TV show. Whatever topic you want. Hashtag GLoLady. Hashtag topic. Astrology is the first science. Well, I should say astronomy is the first science. So it all depends on the definition of witchcraft. Wise woman of a wise craft. If the wise men were honored because they followed a star to a Christ child, then why are wise women demonized? Okay, what TV show? GLoLady TV. You can find it on my YouTube channel. It's under GLoLady TV. It was produced at URTV, Western North Carolina Community Media Center. It was a media center that they had started, I think it might have been like back in 2005. I did not join until 2007. And in 2011, the government, the former county manager, the county commissioner, as well as the chairman, and several others, chose to withhold our funds in order to shut us up. And some of the shows, one of them I co-produced, What's Really Going On in Western North Carolina, exposed the corruption in Buncombe County, where the former DA was a drug kingpin and gave information on a live TV show. Oh, honey, I'm Jesus' sister. I'm a sister in Christ. Whatever you want to believe, harm none, do as you will. I'm over that righteous, holier than thou crap that I was raised in. So, if you can't open your mind, if you're only on a pinpoint of being in control by man's written word, what can I say? That's just the way it is. So, anyhow, GLoLady TV. Go check it out. And you will find that there's a lot of information that was being revealed, but the only way the government could shut us up was to withhold our funds. So Buncombe County, in a conspiracy with the city of Asheville, kept our money to silence the people. Well, thanks. I appreciate, but, I mean, really, there's too much hate in religion. If we were just to harm none, do as you will, life would be so much happier. But it's how we're taught, because we don't know what we don't know until we're taught. And sometimes what we're taught isn't the truth. It's just that I have a lot of different experience that I can share my wisdom, but I can't make you want my knowledge. So I have knowledge and wisdom of what happens when you have a government who wants to shut you up from exposing the corruption because they are making money on it. So I kept speaking up. I was targeted. I was maliciously prosecuted for crimes that I did not commit. So that therefore, I understand that criminal justice system. And hey, they want to arrest you. They can say whatever they want. They can, arrest you. Oh, excuse me. And unless you have the money to bail yourself out, or you have a low bail, or you have a good an attorney, you're going to want to take a plea bargain if you don't have an attorney, or you're going to sit behind bars and probably do more time than if you would have just said that, okay, plea bargain, no contendere. Yeah, nulo contendere, no contest. So let's see. No, I have not and do not believe in that other farce that started at the beginning of prior to 2020. I did, however, get to do a lot of research before it was scrubbed from the internet. And that is when I did listen to quite a lot of Amazing Polly. Always looking forward to her new videos that she put out. I watched her while she was and did have a channel on YouTube until, until it was taken off. And now I do watch her, on BitChute. BITCHUTE. That is, I watch BitChute more than Rumble, I gotta admit it. So, I have certain people that I do listen to and do enjoy the content that they have. So, going back to, I'm going to be filing another lawsuit. The former county manager, she is still serving federal time for misappropriation of funds, and also the 5 John and Jane Does that I put in my lawsuit, but their crime spree escalated during the time that I was fighting my lawsuit, saying, hey man, they're corrupt. And the county saying, oh no, she's lying. Nobody misappropriated funds. At the same time, they are misappropriating funds to an even grander scale. Because the public access money, Wanda Green was a trained fraud examiner. And she thought she knew, because she was a trained fraud examiner, that she could hide money in whatever manner, she wanted to. But, when you're guilty, you're guilty. When you're not, you're not. And eventually, the truth does come out in the wash. Now, while they did arrest her for the crimes that had happened after my lawsuit was dismissed out of the Supreme Court, that doesn't mean that there are not still millions unaccounted for that needs to be investigated. The millions that were stolen, that was reported to the FBI and also to the state attorney general. Now, why was that not ever looked into? I don't know, but we're going to find out, because we're going to go down and pull some bonds. The 1776 Restoration Movement might have a possibility of getting themselves out of, but not in the fashion that they are now. If those who are on the board really want to redo, Santa's got to come out of it. Now, I don't know if you're going to do it when Santa is serving time. That is still, that is still up in the air. Although I do think that he's going to be doing time. I really, really do. Because, yeah, what do we have? Do you think Big Daddy Dave has the skill to pull off his grift? Who's Dave? Oh, Dave. David Rydell? No. Right, Rick. No, he doesn't. He's doing it through his ego, because that's what he wants to. To be called by God of good orderly direction on a higher calling. You can't be doing it to harm others. You can't be doing it to make a profit by harming others. So, yeah. Yes, not some people imaginary dollhouse, just a bunch of lost souls to their brotherhood. Well, Dawn, I was in there believing, and I could not sell my soul to be a live streamer. So that's a big part of why I took video and posted. But most of the time it was behind the scene and done through photos to promote what we were doing. And thank you. I'll be nice now. Well, it's like, I mean, say what you mean what you say, don't say it mean. But I don't want to be like censored the way that too many of us were at the time of having known pedophiles in camp. Well, Don, it wasn't that I really drank the Kool-Aid. I, like a lot of people, were there for a mission. I participated in a 900-mile Veterans March back in 1997. And I can tell you that it was a life-changing experience for me. I can tell you when Canada started theirs, I was there before day one watching, and I tried to get other members of the last patrol, the Veterans March, that I was a participant with, to, hey man, let's do another march. We have to raise awareness. But nobody wanted to walk. I mean, we see Grey Wolf walking now, but he didn't want to talk to me about my experience of the march, and none of the other organizers wanted me to talk about any of my other experiences that I could have prevented a lot of the downfalls. And I see now there again, Ryan, I don't know about that. I don't know how many don't have. I think that, because I was in there because I was hoping to find an attorney to represent me in this lawsuit that I'm working on to get a guaranteed First Amendment platform for we the people. That's the lawsuit I had taken up to the Supreme Court, is to get us and to show how important a First Amendment platform is. Let's share. Well, see, when you're talking about the stolen election and my love for Trump, I really, in the first place, knew what would happen if I voted for Hillary. And that's why I voted for him. The United States should be run as a business, and therefore that was my, okay, let's knock over the domino, let's get this out, because I know what happens if, you know. Now, I also watched Senate hearings. I don't know how many of you have ever watched any of the Senate hearings where people who were there, fact witnesses, for perjury, that if they were to, I'm stating the truth, and if I'm caught in a lie, you can put me in jail. That's what the perjury is. And that's what it's, no, see, Don, like I said, I don't know if investigated. Remember the condemnation prior to investigation? We have to look at all of the evidence that's laying on the table. And there were many people who, risk of perjury, stood up with their hand held and said, under God, this is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. This is what I saw. So I listened to that. I also listened to doctors who were coming out and saying, okay, these are what I have. I know what I experienced, with the big V. I know that I was down for the count because I was also suffering a lot of emotional, I don't know if you want to call it past traumatic stress from my one son getting shot 4 times, my other son dying, going through an eviction, putting everything in storage, having another son bleed while he was incarcerated for 6 weeks, and them denying him medical treatment. So 2019 was really tough on me, and I was in a weakened state. So, was it that big C, or was it my body just like, none of it had me interest. Well, like I'm saying, there's a whole lot of stuff that's going on, Don, okay? Capricorn, okay? Pluto's in Capricorn. Capricorn's government. Capricorn's grounded. Pluto is change, transformation. So Pluto is in there for another year or two. And until that is going to get out of there, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going on that, we might and might not. No, I can accept the facts. I can accept the facts if they're put out in front of me. I can, Put the facts down in black and white. When the facts are down there in black and white, it's kind of hard. But that's the problem. They're not all put down. Okay, not appointing a woman into the so-called vibes of a woman. And no, you all. Oh, Rick, don't get me started on that one. Really. I mean, really, there were so many good women. And way back when the People's Convoy was ending, I had said about, we need to do a grandmother's convoy. And it's like, okay, an elder's convoy, because we don't want to let the men out, but the women are going to run the ship. Because if the women were running the ship, we would not have all these wars that are going on, because we don't want our children or our grandchildren dead. Bottom line. But no, when there are all the information is out on the table, it's going to be quite interesting. And we are in a time frame of revelation. Now, I had said before, I was raised a good little Christian girl. I was brought up with a whole lot of prejudice, especially, against those Catholics. So, I was brought up in a Christian home. And I can't say that it was a bad thing, because, it was basically, in comparison to a lot of others, I was blessed to have the upbringing that I did. I could have had it a whole lot worse. And, I am grateful for the upbringing that I did have. Now, saying that, it wasn't perfect, but it was a whole lot better than, a lot of others. Now, if we're listening to that Christian upbringing and we're looking at Revelation, and Revelation is to reveal, we look at the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. We look at the pestilence. We look at the disease. We look at the death. It is what it is. They threw out a guy that had ministry something in his name prior to Marcus. Yeah, I think that's the one that you are talking about, when the people were really like, I can't quite remember his name either. Branch Ministries or something. And there's, I guess, some people that are looking into that even more so, because from what I heard and what was told, it was worse than. So at this point, I don't know. What I do know is that there's a piece of paper that says that these people are not supposed to be around, and until it goes through a court of law, I have to, uphold that piece of paper that says they're not supposed to be there. Whether I like it or not, I cannot say that they can be in a place where children are if the court says they can't. Okay? So that's why I couldn't agree and don't agree. Do I feel like God is within the movement? God is everywhere. Good orderly direction. Out of bat always comes good. So which way do you choose to see it? Now, maybe teaching lessons, and out of tragedy, people come together in love. What is going to be the final tragedy of the movement? That is my question. I feel like they are worshiping a false god. Well, see, I don't know for sure what God you're talking about. I know that they go to a lot of churches, and I do like hearing because God speaks through other people, but I really don't appreciate going to a church that's going to damn me because I am different than they. I don't agree that the Bible has been written and rewritten by men, and men tell them what to transcribe. So, understanding that there are more books to the Bible that are out there and they are not looked at, well, I wonder about that one too. So, one of the things that I've been saying, and you'll hear it on my TV show if you go back and watch GLoLady TV and the different topics that I had there. There's a couple of things that I used to say. One of them was, what are the Christians going to do when Jesus comes back on the mothership? It's like, all right, well, we're now admitting that there's UFOs. What are they going to do if Jesus is one of them? And then the other one is, what comes after the Bible? If you have a holy Bible and it's set to end, there is an end. Well, what's the sequel? And since history is his story, I think that now we need a document that is her story. And that would definitely be a story of love and light rather than hell and damnation. I'll tell you that right now. Because the hell and damnation are a good way to control people through fear. So, my God's good orderly direction. My God is not fear and hell and damnation. Although there's going to be some of that's going to be coming out against 1776. There's going to be some big time issues that are coming out. And I guess it's good that he got it out of his name, or he's getting it out of his name and into an LLC, because that's like the only thing that's gonna, oops, sorry guys, that's gonna be like the only thing that's gonna protect his butt in the future. Yeah. I mean, what's that saying? Stupid is as stupid does. And there's going to be some interesting things that are going to be coming out in the future. So that's why it's like, be open, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be revealed, not just in 1776. Yeah, I did get the 5 John and Jane Does right in my lawsuit, but what I'm wondering is how many people who are with 1776 will end up being arrested in the end. I'm still like on the fence of that one, and I have a feeling that yeah, I have a feeling that it's not going to be a good thing at the end, with how many people arrested. I do think that there are going to be quite a few. All right, my hardcore Christian in-laws told my gay granddaughter she is going straight today. She is going straight today. Hell, because she's gay. Yeah, that's, I can tell you only my middle name is gay, but that doesn't mean that I don't stand up for anyone else to find love in whomever. who am I to judge who they can and cannot love? It's not my choice, and it shouldn't be any. Yeah, I turn my back on my Christian, the God, and I talk about my post-traumatic stress disorder, and that Santa, ticked it off. I had a holier than thou father-in-law, and he was so holier than thou that he would rather his son abuse his wife and children, because I guess it was, to kick him out from the abuse after 18 years, daddy. Anyhow, I had a really disdain for this holier than thou religious man, and I turned my back on. If you have if you have the same God as I have, then I don't want your God. And I did turn my back on, and I walked through the valley of death, and I felt no evil because I had I had a death wish, and I put myself in places where I should have been dead. And I made it through alive, and I'm sure that it was a God of good orderly direction who kept me alive. But I gained a whole lot of strength in the process of. So I can understand the holier than thou, damn you if you don't take my God, screw you. I don't even want to hear it. If that's the God that you have, you can go and you can have that God. I choose. It's my right. It's my First Amendment that I can practice any religion that I want. And if my religion is a loving and forgiving God of good orderly direction, or the goddess, my mother on earth, well, thank God and goddess bless. I mean, we don't have a right to damn others. When we damn others, that is us playing the role of God. And none of us, all of us, fall short of the glory of God, as it's said in the Christian faith. So, Rick, yeah, tell her she's loved. I mean, she gets to hear a lot of, the frick and the frack, and I am still as to, is it genetics? Is it environment? For whatever reason, it is what it is. And I'll get into going into what I see, what I have seen as to could be, how at another time, because yeah, I kind of don't want to talk, because if I'm going to have it taken down, then I'm going to do it, and that's just what I'm going to do it on. And, then I'll have 2 strikes on YouTube, and, oh well. I don't get any, they've taken away my funds, and they've shadow banned me for years. I know that they don't alert people when I'm going live, and, or even put me out there in there, because really I'm still in YouTube jail. I'm just allowed to broadcast live now. But as for getting my information out there, getting financial rewards, yeah, we the people do not have a a First Amendment platform, and we need one, and I'm not going to quit. Unfortunately, yeah, if I sold my soul and sold the dirt, I could probably get some viewership up there and get some money in my GoFundMe. And oh, that's right, I don't have a GoFundMe. Buy me a coffee and common thread: the parents are all drug abusers that found God. Oh, amen to that one. Amen to that one. But then they had to walk through the valley of the shadow of death in order to find their God. And once they find their God, they also find out that religion is for people who are afraid of going to hell, and spirituality is for those who have already been through hell. So, yeah, that's a hard one. That's a hard one, because I can see different in that. I'm a child of the 60s, and how we were brought up, and then it's like, looking at how it was criminalized and how it was profited on, and how you were created to feel less than in society. So, yeah, I can't say that I can't say, and it's like, I have experimented, and I'm very grateful that I experimented with and know that they were like, ooh, shit. I can't do a pharmaceutical, because it's like a cold, hard slap in the face every time I have tried a chemical type of. It's been a big time slap in the face. Now, alcohol is something other than, because it sneaks up on you and you really don't see it. Well, hey, there's a lot of in behind the back scenes. I mean, I'm over 60, and people still try to tell me how to live my life, and tell her, this is what I would tell your granddaughter: genius hinges on insanity only when we are not true to ourselves. So even when people walk to the beat of a different drum, and even though we can dance to the beats of different drums, that doesn't mean that that beat is the beat of our drum. So unless she is true to herself, to thine own self be true, it's hard to be happy. It really is. Let's go back to, doing astrology. God created the heavens and the earth. God created the heavens, the planets, the stars that move in a certain pattern, that when they move in certain patterns and directions, that they have an effect on the magnetic fields of other planets and the earth, and we human beings. We human beings that are trying to have a spiritual experience, but man, is it hard on earth, especially when we're listening to other people. We can't afford to, you know? We can't afford to. Do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? And the biggie that I have found is, like I said, in astrology. And you know, being more lighthearted, taking things on a little lighter note. But check out the other videos that I did. I just put up September's astrology. And these are all general readings where you can see the planetary and how it affects us, what houses affect us. And, you know, Rick, if your granddaughter ever wants to talk to anybody, you know, put her on to me. And I will let her know that, you know, hey, if she wants to go that way, let her go that way. There again, I have a niece who was, you know, deciding, and it's like, is she or isn't she? Does she have to say that this is the way I'm going to be and that's it, or not? I mean, it's, you know, when we're talking about abortion, it's kind of like the same thing. It's definitely not something that I would choose for myself, have never chosen for myself. But that doesn't mean that I should play God in someone else's life. There you go, Rumrose. You know, I throw my hands up. I mean, if my children, no matter which one, would come on. Oh, well, thanks, Rick. Yeah, I am crazy, but I'm not insane. And that's been documented by the doctor. The doctor, after I lost everything that I loved and worked for, and, you know, couldn't take that abuse anymore after 18 years. I'm like, you know, my brain is still mush. You know, my fractures, and yeah, it wasn't pretty. Wasn't pretty, it was hard, but I was determined to prove my mother wrong, that I would make it work. And we won't even go into, you know, the rest of and behind that story on this one. But yeah, it was astrology that really pretty much saved my life and showed me how, when planets act or move in a certain fashion, that yeah, you know, I have to be careful when it's a Gemini moon because Geminis are square challenging the Pisces. So it does put a little bit of understanding, because it also helped to point out that some people are just some people, and not to take it personally, because, you know, whereas I used to think it's me, I'm the reason that that person is acting the way that they are. And it's like, no, you know, that's not true. That's just that person acting the way that they are. And planetarily, you know, with how things are going, and yeah, look up Roundup. I'll put it that way while I'm on it. How many chemicals have you used in your home to clean? How much Roundup did you use to kill these so-called weeds in your yard? And look up a peer-reviewed study on Roundup causing frogs to morph into other sexes. So I'm going to put it at that because I have to be careful of what I say because, yeah, I don't have a First Amendment platform that I can speak honestly about everything that I want to speak on. You know, I don't really know a whole lot about Q. Don't know. Can you predict my future if I send you my birth date? Well, Rick, to tell you the truth, I could probably tell you a whole lot more about yourself than you know, which is scary. So, foresight is, the forewarned is forearmed. I don't predict death, although I could see my son's death in after he died. Libra 4/10/1964. So let's do it this way: 10, 20, 30, 34. 3 and 4 is 7. You are a very intuitive, spiritual person, and family is important to you. That's numerology. Numerology is numbers. Hang on. Well, yeah. I mean, I can't say no. Well, no, I can't really. Okay, Rick, let me put it this way. All right. This is Santa's, but you see it's 1776's. Right here, here's the sun. So what I did was, this is the chart of 1776. The green is how Santa affects the 1776. I didn't do a chart on Santa. So I'll let you in on that one real quick. Let me grab the ephemeris and I'll be right back. Alrighty. This is an ephemeris, okay? And let me open it up to your birth date. 10/4, good buddy. Alright. 10/4/64. So you're a child of the 60s too. Alright. Okay. Let's see how this is gonna go. Alrighty, so 10/4/64. Ten, 4/64. Alright, oops. Don't want to show you the other side of that. That's still my my bill from Bella, my dog that died. I still owe for the vet bill. Alrighty, so we already said about your sun was in Libra, and it's in there at 11 degrees. It all depends on what your time of birth is, but it looks like it's going to be in the later degrees of Virgo. So, yeah, because it changes, it goes into Libra on the next day. So, being that it's in Virgo, you analyze with your emotions. Your emotions are very analytical. Communications. Let's see, what do we have? 2 degrees of Libra. And you try to be really fair in your communications. You try to say what you mean what you say, don't say it mean. Although, let's see, you're coming back. Mercury's coming back to you. But is that saying that you might tend to be swayed more and not you withhold your truth rather than put it out there. I guess that you learn that you better keep it. Oops. All right, Boomer Gen X borderline 6:42 a.m. All right, so then we are coming into well, I mean, we're still in Virgo. Doesn't really matter. But when we're talking 6:42, yeah, it's like 20 degrees. Okay, and then Leo, you love people and you tend to express it. I have my moon's in Leo, and I like to tell people, I like to say I love you. I like to express it, and you do express your love. You are you would probably be good on a date. You probably are are very thoughtful of women. You probably like having a pedestal wife, someone who you can be very proud of. Same as your work. You probably are out there, front and center. And you would be a good person who is out there, front and center. And values are important. Gathering with the Jupiter in Taurus, now it's retrograde. You have a lot of, or you have a few of a lesson oriented, in in um, in being true to you. Don't just oh, hold on, Rhodey. Don't just do things because it looks good. Do things because you want to. You like to, and that'll make you much happier. But you do like possessions. You are very you like your possessions, but your possessions have to have value. It's not just for the bling of things. And you'll probably, should I get rid of that? You probably do go back over the value, and knowing that material value is of no consequence, or how do I say that? In comparison, that the value of people is worth a whole lot more than the value of a materialistic. And with Saturn in Aquarius, teaching, and it's critical, and it's really a critical degree of 29, and learning the lessons, and it has to be what is done. You can being a Libra, you have that. It would be like the the heart on the church, or yeah, heart on the church sleeve. Sorry, the heart on wearing your heart on your sleeve, and being good to you. I mean, yeah, that's it's sometimes I mean, we all have hard, and I'll tell you what, I had my 4 children by cesarean, and yeah, man, my kids had some hard birth. My son, if I would have realized, his birth chart when he was taken, I would have, hey, can we wait a little bit longer? Because he has a lot of challenging aspects. Oh, excuse me. Okay, let's see here. Let me go back. There we go. Alrighty. Alright, Pluto, yep, Pluto's in Virgo, Neptune in Scorpio. Thank you, Rumrose. It's getting warm in here. I don't have the AC on. I'm in my room that I'm staying at my friend's until I go back to North Carolina. But this is an ephemeris, and this is learning astrology. You can really learn a lot of things, not just about you, but about other people. And learning not to take yourself so seriously is a biggie. And this was just a little bit of just looking in the ephemeris, not really like with an ephemeris I would put a or not with an ephemeris. If I were to do a chart, I would put the Libra in the first house, and then I would take the rest of the planets and put them in where I had just explained. So a lot of that, would have a whole lot more explanation to it. That's just a summary. That's just what it is, but it's not putting it in which houses. What I had just explained for Rick. So yeah, astrology is different. It's interesting. And like I said, I mean, if you can understand how these planets moving affect not only you, but other people in your life, it does make things a whole lot easier not to take it personal, So I won't knock you for belief. I find it fascinating. Thank you. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. Like I said, I really could get into it a whole lot deeper. What I'm working on, they call me GLoLady because I invented glow-in-the-dark clothing and glow-in-the-dark safety products. And it takes money to make money, and I don't know how many times I've started it and crashed and burned and picked it myself up, and now I bounce and when I crash, and I try not to burn, but it's been a challenging, and I wanted to write another lawsuit or legal whatever to get us a First Amendment platform, because it's something that we the people really need. A lot of them have homes, people come and go back to work, come back. You like those fake fortune tellers. Oh, well, hey, You can call it whatever you want, Bonnie. If you would like a professional reading, my fee was $55, a half an hour, when I worked at Casadega, in Casadega, Florida. So I don't know how many of those people, yeah, I didn't have anybody who was saying, no, I wasn't worth my money, honey. And what can I say? If you go back and you put in hashtag GLoLady, hashtag premonition, paranormal, you'll see where I had already prophesized the time that we're in. I might not use it as much as I should have to drive me, or not to drive me crazy, but yeah, I should apply it a little bit more than what I do. But I don't know about you. Some people said that I wasn't good because I had this gift, and then that gets your moving into the grift. What the fuck? No, not moving into the grift, honey. That was, like I said, that was why I didn't sell my soul. And that's just what I used to charge with those, that's going rate. What can I say? If you want a professional, reading, that's a price of a professional reading. I like to do my readings by donations. I always wished that there were people who would do that, because one person's $1 is another person's 100. So I've always enjoyed doing readings and doing them by donation. Some people might have a pocket full of change. Some people might have a pocket full of hundreds. It doesn't matter. It all evens out. It's the message that's the important. Who didn't see this coming? Have a nice day. Oh, yeah, well, I guess you're on your high horse. Don't know. But did I ask you for a donation, Rick? Did I? Did I tell you what I usually charge before? No. It was just when somebody brought up about those fake fortune tellers. That's when I opened up my mouth and said, yeah, this is my fee. This is my fee when I used to work in an establishment, and I had a disagreement with the owner because I said it's the only difference between there and a whorehouse is we use a different part of our body. They were still making a profit on the girls. More profit on the girls. They were making the profit of a pimp. So, yeah. No. If you would prefer that I move into the grift, well, sorry. But just like on my TV show, I would forget to brush my hair or talk about sponsors or whatever. It's people are gonna believe what people are gonna believe. You can put it in front of you and say, okay, here's what it is what it is, and they probably are gonna disagree until it slaps them in the face, and that's okay. If I hopefully help you understand what's going on, well then, what can I say? No, I guess I could go back, but that, wouldn't be any fun. Wouldn't be any fun, but yeah. Sorry, Rick. I don't know where you thought that I was grifting, but, GLoLady TV. Is that what you're asking? What TV show? What TV show I produced? GLoLady TV. Let me see my channel. Oops. All right, you ready? All right. There you go. That's the live one now. And then I have uploads. Right here, if you go to GLoLady, go to my playlists. And here I have created playlist. Videos I like. Here's my September readings. Here's astrology readings. Convoy to Freedom. All right, save playlist. Oh, look at that. Imagine that. Introduction to the Constitution. Civil rights. Whoa. You mean I've been in this for a long time? Huh? Okay, hold on. Let me go and show you some more. All right. So, all right, there's a bunch of, look at DIY. Here's my DIY. Wrong one. Oh no, I'm gonna get hollered at because I pointed to the wrong one. Here's my DIY. That was when I gave my Prius a tune-up. Yeah. Hey man, you wanna do things? You gotta learn to do them yourself. There's a bunch of divination readings that I have done. Here's some music. Meditation videos. Some comedy. Oh yeah, the one with the comedy is the Tooth Fairy quitting on GLoLady TV. Here's public access truth. Here's charity work that I've done. There's animal stories. Now wait a minute, where's my let's see. Oh, there's view full playlist. Oh, there's my well, that's URTV's final show. I also did a interview on radio where I had talked about let's see, where I talked about the corruption. Now I know I have a GLoLady TV on here. Christian, who's doing well versus Wealthy Kingdom Builder. Oh, how about that? Oh, that's Lisa Haven. I don't know how many of you guys listen to Lacey. Oh, look at Lazy Gamer. What's he up to? Yeah, multiple angles. All right. IRS makes a new major. Oh, how about that? Yeah, the only thing with Lazy Gamer, he kind of is a one-sided, doesn't investigate, period. And then here I am again. So, yeah, GLoLady TV. If you hashtag GLoLady TV, you'll find also some other ones in Oh, wait a minute, let me go back. You'll find some other ones in Vimeo. Oh, there we go. What was I saying about GLoLady TV? Here, let me get rid of this. There we go. My GLoLady TV. Mary Jo Moore. She is an author. Tooth Fairy Quits on GLoLady. Glow Karmic. Spirit Song. She's also an astrologer. Campfire Stories. Benjamin's an astrologer. Here's local musicians, medical cannabis, the I Ching Show, Green on Green. Green on Green is one that I co-produced, and that is the Western North Carolina Community Media Center. And of course, it's not up there anymore, but tell me how what? Alright, hang on, I have to go back over that. Okay, Mad Monk of Montford, Brother Christopher, Tara and Friends, Jeff Turner Live. Here's some uploads. Buncombe County. Earthheart News. I mean, we had a lot of really good programming on there. And, yeah, it definitely wasn't professional. We didn't get paid. We all produced our own work in order to be on there. Okay, so let's see. Top chat, live chat. I know Rick had asked me, or somebody had asked me. Tell me how 8/18/60. What is that? See, what is that, Rick? Tell you what, I'm gonna write down the information that you gave me, and then we'll see. Alrighty then. Alrighty. Alright, tell me how evil my ex was without being cocked up. Well, I can tell you right now, the 8/18, and I'd have to go back and look at her what other planets, but you had what, Venus and Mars in Leo, and she's a Leo, so I'm taking it that that's how you guys were really attracted. She probably was a beauty, and that's probably what attracted you, because you like that beauty on the pedestal, remember? Am I right in that without looking? Okay, well, I hate to say I'm gonna go into the AC, but I'm going into the AC. I think I've been on here. Oh yeah, it's been like 2 hours almost. So it's been a while. So I'm sure that those of you who were wondering about the 1776 restoration movement and how they were going to make out the month of September, well, let's just say it's gonna be challenging, and I can't say that it's going to be pretty in the format that it is in. There are going to be lots of changes, and my question is, how many will be arrested by the end of September if they keep following on the same thing? Ah, gotcha, Rick. Gotcha. And that's a sad thing. Addiction is really a sad thing. I can relate. I can relate. I couldn't understand why my ex wanted a titty bottle. Why he couldn't go anywhere without a bottle. Bottle of booze. Couldn't go anywhere, do anything. Yeah, I couldn't dress him up, let alone take him anywhere without being embarrassed. So, yeah, it's sad. It's sad. And then I lost everything when I said it's sad. I can't take no more. So, I feel for you, Rick. And, I will, I will get back. I'm gonna go and cool off because I didn't want to run the AC in here. And, I'm getting really a little bit sweaty at this point. So, anyhow, it's been fun. And Rick, you have me really questioning, or really, that's banging. So I guess I'll have to check that out for you. But just remember, well, okay. We'll have to catch up again, Rick. I'll let you know on that one. I don't know how I can let you know, but I will come out and tell you no more. A big part of is our childhood traumas, and not healing from them. If we don't identify our childhood traumas and heal from them, then our wounds are compounded and they get worse. So I can tell you that. And with the pain of, and at least she can escape for a little bit instead of the guilt, remorse, and self-pity that accompanies an addict. And when they do ingest enough to forget, but then outside can never fill that hole within. So it becomes increasing to cover up that self-remorse, pity. And we have to understand that they're sick people. And I'm sure that there were words that I stated that I could have said in a nicer way that might have helped my ex-husband seek treatment instead of, yeah. So, We have to forgive others for not being as perfect as we are. As I had said earlier about with the drugs were like, to me, I was not drawn to them like a moth to a flame, whereas some people are. So with drinking, as I said, alcohol was more deceptive, I guess, in the long run. But I am grateful that I didn't go down the pills or powders or chemicals in whatever form. I'm very grateful that I didn't succumb to, because there's many who have never made it out of. So, anyhow, you guys have a great day, and I will see you. Love you. Bye. Time to feed the puppies. Woo, babies.